How's it going, people? Hope you're well. Welcome back to Football's 12th Man. As ever, I'm your host, Dan Potts, and we've got some transfers to talk, and who better to bring on than some amazing guests. Some you recognise very, very well, and trust me, get used to it, because they'll be coming on much, much sooner, and a lot more often. First of all, I've got my boy Grizz Khan in the house. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, my friend. Thank you very much for having me, man. All good, all good.
It's always a pleasure having you, man. There's a lot to talk about with your football club the last few days, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. I brought an Aston Villa fan on with me. Billy, how are you, bro?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, man. It's been a while, bro, but it's good to see you, and I believe you're going to have a very busy summer, so it'll be interesting to get your
Fingers
thoughts,
crossed.
mate. Yeah, fingers crossed indeed. And someone you all know very well from West Ham Fan TV, it's Dan Lawless in the house. How are you, my bro?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be on the channel. Obviously, you've been hearing about it a lot from you, obviously, ahead of time and the plans and everything you have. So it's good to see it up and running and to get to come on it myself. So, yeah, man, look forward to it.
I appreciate that, man. And yeah, this is like the third episode, so it's off the ground now and running, and there's a lot of plans for the summer and for the new season. So hopefully the channel will grow, and I appreciate all the support and, of course, everyone for coming on. I have to start with Liverpool. The last couple of days have been crazy, Grizz. You've got potentially the striker that I wanted Arsenal to go for. I told you about this guy, Darwin Nunez, how I wanted Arsenal to get him. And as soon as we missed out on Champions League football, I knew that it was just not going to happen. Looked like Manchester United were going to be the favourites. But now, from what I'm hearing, Liverpool are the front runners. Now, I want to ask you this, Grizz. First of all, your thoughts on Darwin Nunez. But second of all, is this like a plan that you always had? Or is this like a crap, we need to do something because they've now got Haaland and you need to react? Or do you think you would have gone for this guy at this kind of move anyway, Grizz?
Bloody hell, a lot of questions, innit? You don't ask.
Sorry, man. I've thrown you in the deep end, man.
You don't take it easy on a debutant, do you? Novice. So what do I think of the player first? I think he's a good young player. I think the price that's been talked about is excessive.
What is the price?
85 million they want for him pounds, 100 million euros. It's a mental price. It's a mental price. I've been speaking to a lot of people that watch him far or have watched him far more than me. Because when you talk about players, a 22-year-old that's only had one real season in the limelight, he's been at Almeria before that. If anyone's watched him regularly for Almeria, salute to you, my friend. But Benfica people that watch him on a regular talk about his potential and how he's got the raw attributes to be an absolute beast and a monster. And he's shown that. 34 goals in 41 games. I'm not amazing with stats, but something like that. Now, that's an insane number. If you just look at pure goals, right? You can tell he knows where the back of the net is, the old saying. But if you analyze his game, if you watch his game, if you look into his game, it's not clean. It's not immaculate. But then you got to ask yourself the question, which 22-year-old in world football's game is immaculate? You can always work on your game as long as you've got raw attributes to work with. And he's definitely got those. And for that, who's the best coach? Pep or Klopp? To extract raw attributes any player has, you need one of the top coaches who believes in young players. So we've seen what Pep's done with the likes of Foden. We've seen what Klopp's done with numerous players. He elevates you to another level. So from that angle, I'd be absolutely buzzing if we got it over the line. But price-wise, bit of a shock to the system. In terms of buying a forward, yes, we were always going to buy a forward. This was always going to be the summer where we start evolving the front lads. They've been together for 5-6 years. No strike force in the Premier League has lasted that long as a three. We've always had a couple, York and Cole, Drogba, and I don't know, whoever you want to match up with Drogba, Sheringham and Cole. Do you know what I mean? So we've had a couple, Bergkamp, Henry. Only a few have been like 2-3 seasons, but no one has been efficient and effective for this long. And so it's a natural progress, man. It's a natural progression where you need to change. So we've done that with Jota. We've done that with Diaz. And this was always going to be the summer where we go for that third one, and then we can start moving them on. For example, Mane going. I don't know if you wanted to touch upon that, but with Sadio Mane going, and Divock Origi going, we were always going to bring in a striker. Yes, it's a bit of a surprise that we've gone for someone so, what's the word? Unproven, because he is. I don't know how the rest of the guys think of him. Even though I'm a Liverpool fan, I should be gassed about it, and I should be, he's the second coming of Haaland. Well, he isn't. He's very untried. He's very untested. But we've obviously seen something in him, and we've got a great track record of seeing things in players and taking it from there.
Listen, I want to come to Lawless on this one, because for me, I looked at the Vlahovic deal in January thinking, get this guy. When that wasn't going to happen and he went to Juventus, he was the one that I wanted after that, Darwin Nunez, because I think he's the target man. He's an all-round number 9. He does a lot of attributes, and Grizz is right. There's some that's not right to his game, but he's a young kid. He's only going to get better. I think the ceiling is massively higher, and the numbers add up to be a top player. So I want to get your thoughts of if Liverpool signed this guy, man.
Yeah, obviously it was a player. We actually went in for him in January ourselves, West Ham, and I think there was a bit of an obstacle because of the replacement that they wanted, they couldn't get. So something happened where the deal fell down, but they weren't talking about no 85 million at the time. And now, but obviously that's what happens now. All these other clubs come in and get interested, like Man United, Liverpool. Price goes up, bidding war, and that's what's happened. That demand has pushed the price to well above, like I said, what you would expect for an unproven player, from another league. And that is, it's interesting to see Liverpool take this risk, because they've not been a team that have really gone out too often. I mean, obviously we've seen like the Van Dijks and things like that, but it's very rare they'll go out and just go, right, let's go and splash this big money now on this player. And that's the thing. I think Liverpool, they need to really strengthen this summer to keep pace with Man City. And obviously Nunez is going to have to come in and hit the ground running. Like Grizz come and said, they're losing Mane, they're losing Origi. They're going to need strength in several areas of the team to then go again. So spending 85 mil, are they then going to spend like another 80 mil? And then, to fill out the rest of the team? I don't know whether... I don't see why they can't spend. I don't know why Liverpool don't spend. Won the Champions League, won the Premier League, in Champions League every season, merch off the charts, selling out the ground. I don't get what the issue is with them not spending so much. But this summer, more than any, they have to spend big. So if they drop 85, that's just got to be the start of it. They're going to have to go and push that 150 mil plus towards the 200 mil, because we're hearing Man United are going to spend crazy. We're hearing Chelsea going to spend crazy. We're hearing, obviously, Man City have already strengthened, started signing players, and Haaland. I'm not saying Arsenal and Spurs are a competition for Liverpool, but again, two teams that are going to spend crazy. And then we've got Newcastle coming in. And we've got Villa here. We know they're going to spend crazy, and whether they finish in top 10 with that spend, it remains to be seen. But the point is, we're rumored to spend big, but that's the point. So many teams are spending big. How can Liverpool be penny pinching? It's Liverpool. So I'm very interested to see where they go from here. But yeah, Nunez, he's young. It might take him a while, and that might be to Liverpool's detriment. But again, like Grizz said, one of the best coaches in football. If he's going to learn from anyone, it might as well be Klopp.
Can I come back in before Billy goes?
Of course.
Because Dan's made a few points there which I disagree with. So it's only fair. If I keep quiet, then it's like I'm not being myself. So he says basically we heard this last season. Liverpool need to spend. They finished, the cycle's over. All of these teams, Man United, Chelsea went out and bought £100 million players, spent loads on their squads, West Ham as well, Villa as well. Every other team around us spent loads. We only bought in Konate. So first and foremost, we spent about 30 million on Konate, which was, I think, the record of Konate and the performance of Konate speak for itself. We then went, fucking hell, a man of the match goalkeeping performance in a final, and 50 minutes, what we were talking about beforehand, from fucking immortality. So we didn't do bad as compared to what people thought we were going to do. People thought we're not even going to finish fourth. It's all about Chelsea, Man United, and City are going to walk away with it. So this notion that we need to spend, I've never agreed with, because for me, it's not about how much you spend, it's how you spend it or how you make your team better, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through youngsters, or whether it's through recruitment. For me, it's never been about we have to spend money. No, we have to improve the team. How you do it, it's up to you, Jurgen, and the owners. So I'm not bothered if, so for example, I was doing a stream yesterday. Honest to God, this is no word of a lie. I said on the Big Six last night as well. We've just about to spend 80 million on Darwin Nunez, and we've also recruited Fabio Carvalho for 5 million. No word of a lie, I'm more excited about Fabio Carvalho because I know he's gonna dark up this league. People are about to see a young baller really shine. He's only 19 as well. So do you get my point, Dan? I don't care how much we spend. I want the right player and I want the team to evolve. People
do you not think, Grizz, that it's just the fact that you look at the team, it's not changed much, like from that team that won the Champions League?
But it has, Dan. Here we go. I was about to come to that point. Yeah. So, for example, we brought in Tsimikas, younger version of Robertson. Has he impressed you lot? 11 million. And I'm sure he gets into probably all your teams, right? Tsimikas, right? We've got Trent, who's a young lad. We've got Konate.
I love Tierney, but go on.
You know, I love Tierney. We've got Konate and Gomez, 25 and 23 respectively. Only been there a season, Konate. That's your core of your midfield. Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. Now, you can say, are they really good enough? Klopp believes in them, and they've shown that they are bloody good. So we've got a whole heap of changes coming for our team. Thiago's only been there a season. It's totally different. The only place where we've had the same team and it's people's heads is up front. Because it's Firmino, Salah, Mane. Wait, hey ho, we've got Jota and Diaz now, and we've had them, and we've brought in Diaz in mid-season, 30 million. Does he look like a 30 million player to you guys? Does Jota look like a 40 million pound player? So for me, it's not about going big and making statements. We're not about that. We don't do it like Man United, make a statement and then fuck up the whole team shape and everything. For us, it's about keeping it moving, and we know where we are. And I'm confident we'll make this. I know you said if we buy 85 million pound striker, are we going to go and spend big elsewhere? Honestly, Dan, as long as we get in another central midfielder, pace and power type central midfielder, I'm so happy with our squad. It's the best squad that I can remember as a Liverpool fan, and I'm fucking twice most of your lot's age.
You think that's enough, like, to keep pace with what Man City could potentially? Because that seemed to be like missing.
I'll tell you what. So they could ask the same question. They need to fucking make sure we don't make life difficult for them, and win 2 of the trophies that they wanted to win as well, and reach the Champions League final, which is their place of fucking the holy grail for them. So we were literally, I said to you, we were literally a point away from having the best season of all time. So how we can go from there to saying, oh, we need to keep pace with them, to me, it doesn't make sense. To outsiders, yeah, maybe it does make sense. See, they got Jesus leaving, Gundogan leaving, Sterling not wanting to stay, and Mahrez not wanting to stay, and loads of players that come back from injury. So we can flip the narrative either way. They've got a lot of players coming to that age where, you know, they might need to revamp as well, and we know they can with the money they got. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race again, and I genuinely think as long as we bring, I'm saying this before people say, oh, we don't need no signings. As long as we bring in a proper central midfielder, like a powerful one, I'm so happy. If we don't, you're right. I will agree with you. We haven't done enough, and we could get caught by the rest. But I can't see Chelsea, West Ham, Spurs catching up to us. That's not arrogant. I just think.
I don't think we will either. Yeah.
Where I agree with what Grizzy's saying, I actually agree with a little bit with what Loris is saying as well. But actually, Klopp has spent money before as well, because he's gone, bang, I need a goalkeeper, bang, I need a centre half, and he's gone and spent 140 million. Now, granted, that come from the Coutinho deal. But what I'm saying is he's not afraid to spend big, I don't think. And I think you're right, Lourdes, that I think Liverpool might need to go to that stage if they do want to compete with Man City and say 85 million, so be it. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world football. We're going to have to go and pay it now. a centre midfielder. If somebody comes along in the next Patrick Vieira, they're going to have to go and buy it and pay whatever it is now. Do you know, I thought they would have gone for Tchouaméni. It looks like he's now going to Real Madrid. That for me would have been a great signing. Have Tchouaméni and Thiago and Fabinho. Wow, what unbelievable midfield. So I think Grizz is right, but I also think what you're right, Lawless. But what I will say, and where I big up Klopp, and where I do feel Liverpool had a great chance of winning the league this season, which is why I tipped them to win it, is because I think they strengthened in depth, and I don't think they've had that in the last couple of seasons until now. When you look at Oxlade-Chamberlain can't get a kick, Origi and Minamino were laughed at, but now they can't get kicks either. You look at what they've done up top with the signings of Jota and Luis Diaz. Tsimikas, I think, has been a brilliant guy. Joe Gomez is there if Trent does get injured. Konate has been fantastic. I think Joel Matip has been criminally underrated for a few seasons now. I look at that team and think that is probably as good now as it has been in the last 10, 15 years that I've been seeing Liverpool of kind of turmoil to coming back up to where they belong. So for me, I kind of am with Grizz in fact the recruitment has been so good. But where I do agree with you is I think Liverpool might need to go bang and get that deal done. Billy, what I wanted to come in with you with is the Mane situation, because I'm still Grizz is making it sound like as if he's going. I still don't know that he is. I don't listen to Liverpool rumours. I think it would be a shame if I'm honest, because I think he's a talent. But I do believe this Luis Diaz kid is unreal. Like, I can't lie. I think this guy is ridiculously good. So I'm not so sure Liverpool will miss him. Well, they will miss him because it's Sadio Mane and his class. But what I'm getting at is they've got enough cover there, I believe. Do you feel that Liverpool are going to do enough this summer to compete with Man City again? Because with Haaland, man, it's looking... For me, it's pretty much season over if he starts killing it the way that I expect him to, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, pardon me, sorry. I think Haaland's the big one. But just getting back to Liverpool and the question, I think that Luis Diaz is a fantastic player. And I think if Mane does go, which I do think he will go, it's about getting that replacement and making sure that Mane replacement is the right replacement. And you don't see Jurgen Klopp spending big very often. And if he believes that Darwin Nunez is that player that can replace Mane, then he will do everything he can to get him, which if that means spending £85 million on him, I think he'll do that. I do think it will be sad if Mane goes, leaving in this way. I think it seems to me as if he maybe wants to force his way out. But I think that happens with players every now and then. And I mean, you saw how Coutinho was when he wanted to leave Liverpool, and what that did for, I mean, obviously they're getting 140 odd million for them and how they spent that money. But it's the way, like I've just mentioned, the way that Liverpool spend Mane's money. And everyone goes on about how big of a fee this Darwin Nunez money is. But if you think they could be getting 40 million for him from Mane, sorry. So that's instantly chopped down to 45 million if you're talking about net spend. Oxlade-Chamberlain could be on the way. Minamino could be on the way. Nat Phillips could be on the way. I mean, if you top that up, you're getting Darwin Nunez as a net spend for what, about 15 million? It makes perfect sense to bring someone like that in if you're getting the money back in. So it's a big fee, of course it is, but they're also getting some of the money back from fringe players that they're not really using all that often. So, I mean, it makes sense to me personally.
Yeah, I think you made some great points there, mate, to be fair. And I do think Liverpool will make them sales, as you've mentioned. Grizz, is Mane done? Is that pretty much he's out the door and it's done and dusted? There's no chance of him staying?
Until he leaves, there's always a chance, but it's very minimal. He's told the teammates that he's made up his decision. He's told the club that as well. Internally, they know that he's gone. So it's just a matter of trying to get as much as we can from him. And, I've got absolutely no qualms with him leaving. He's an absolute iconic, legendary figure for us ever since he made that debut at Arsenal. You'll remember it well, where he cut in, got the ball in the half.
I don't remember that game, mate.
Yeah, no, I do. It's not even talked about that goal. You know that it's an insane goal to score on a debut. But yeah, man, he's won it all with us. An absolute diamond, on and off the pitch, gave it his all. And look, if his last contract, he wants a big payday and wants the wages that he thinks he deserves, and we're not prepared to give it because he's coming up to 30 now. No, he is 30 now. He's coming up to 31. I think it's been an amazing signing for all parties. We got him for 35 million. We've had him for 6 years. We're going to get that money back for him. That's great business as far as I'm concerned, man. Tell me other clubs that work like that. So that's what it is. People want to see big, splashy signings and money. We work smart, and Billy's right. All those players that he said, we barely use them, but we're going to get Darwin Nunez money out of them. Nico Williams, Phillips, Origi, Minamino. That's your Darwin Nunez money. 80 million right there. Simply. Not without even like sort of having to stress the bank. So I'm happy with how we are, where we are. But as long as we make sure we get a central midfielder on top of Darwin Nunez, because that will be key for me. That's the only
Salah wages though, Grizz. I was going to ask, like, because you talked about Mane's wages, not wanting him to pay him like because he's age. But a player like Salah, like, what is he on? He's on like 200 sign costs. It's really low for what you would expect a player of his like quality to be on. What other clubs might play a player like that?
Yeah, everyone knows we got wage structure. Yeah. Everyone knows we got wage structure. There's ways we do it. Salah, so what people don't know about Salah's wage is he actually ends up earning around 350 grand to 400 a week. But how he earns that is through bonuses. So all our contracts, all our big boys are very, very bonus. You know, basically the incentive is to do well and you get paid well. Simple. The crux, the core matter of now with Salah is he's saying to them, and he's in every right. He's got every right to. He's saying to them, "Yo, I was 26 when I came, and you wanted to see me show you something, and that's why I agreed that wage. Now I don't need to show you shit. You need to show me shit now. So show me where the money is. I want a basic from about 300, so I can earn my bonuses. If you want me to put on a bet, basically wants a higher basic wage to start off with, as opposed to, you know, one again that we bonus. But yeah, man, look, here's the way it's the way of the modern footballer. How many players do we know at the top of our head are running down their contracts? Dybala, Mbappe, Dembele, Aubameyang. How many? We know so many footballers that run down their contracts now because they know there's a big fat paycheck coming their way if they can just run down their contract. And that's the fear with Salah. But again, we're in a good place, man. If he gives us another year of the highest record goal scorer and record assists, we're calm with that. That's again 6 years at 35 million, and we didn't have to break the bank in wages as well. So I'm okay with it, but I think it'll be better if he extends, and I think he will extend. He will extend.
Salah will stay, man. Salah will stay. He will. And let's be honest, there's only Man United who can allow Paul Pogba to be signed twice and let him go on a free. That's just absolute banter. Absolute banter. Yeah, listen, I think I'm jealous of Liverpool. I've said it to Grizz a few times. They're everything I want Arsenal to be in terms of fighting at the top. A well-run club. Unbelievable. Not just the players they buy, the players they sell. To sell players like Jordan Ibe and Dominic Solanke and Brian Brewster for the amounts they got for them players. And what have they done? What have they actually done since? Absolute naffle. I know Solanke's banging them in finally for Bournemouth in the Championship, but let's see what he does next season, because he won't be banging them in, trust me. I don't think the guy's good enough. Don't think Brewster's is going to be anything. So these players, they got like 25, 30 million for them a piece. It's
Brad Smith.
Amount of money.
Brad Smith. Have you even heard of Brad Smith?
I did. The left back for when they went to Bournemouth, wasn't it?
Yeah, 17 million we got for Brad Smith.
Crazy. And where's he now?
I don't know, man. Australian League or something? I don't even know.
Madness. It's a madness, absolute madness. How your run of a football club is admirable, to be fair. And you know, I'm not a huge fan of Liverpool as a whole, but I look at the way they play, I look at their manager, I look at their style of play and their players, and I'm jealous of it. I can't lie. I absolutely love watching them play football. And if I had the season ticket and was a neutral, I would go watch Liverpool. I would. And I said that to Grizz, and I think although people were giving banter at the end of the season, I think everybody knew how close they were to coming to even be mentioned of having a quadruple. Like the words quadruple and your team go together, you know you've had a decent season. Although they only had 2 domestic cups to show from it, I'd rather take the last 4 years of Liverpool's season than the last 15 years of shit that we've had at the Emirates, if I'm honest with you. So that's the way I see it. Billy, let's come to you, man. Let's talk a little bit about Aston Villa. Because you're a team that apparently is going to go spend big. You're a team that's going to go mental, as Lawless said. But it looks to me as if Gerrard's just getting his mates back. Coutinho's coming in. Suarez is rumoured to come and do the business at 36 years old. Like, what are you hearing, man? Because I've been away on holiday, so I haven't heard all the transfer rumours. But I'm hearing that Villa are going to go big. But Gerrard is being backed, and it looks like Coutinho and Suarez are going to link up again. Is there truth in that?
Getting the band back together. Regards to Suarez, I'm not too sure. I've heard rumours recently that it's looking unlikely that it's actually going to come off now for whatever reason, whether it be down to contracts or whatever. But the Suarez one looks to be off the cards. However, I mean, what a transfer window so far. You know, I think it opens tonight, the transfer window at midnight or at some point tomorrow anyway. We've already brought in 3 Champions League level players. I mean, if they'd have stayed at their clubs, they'd all be playing Champions League football next season, and they're coming to 14th in the table, Aston Villa, you know. So I think what we've got going on at Villa at the minute with Steven Gerrard is very special. I think he's played a massive part in it as well. I mean, Boubacar Kamara on a free transfer. You know, you've got the likes of Man United who we've picked him to. So I've got to be honest with you, I don't know an awful lot about him. However, he's just got his first cap for France the other night. Apparently played sensational, very calm on the ball. That defensive midfield that we've been crying out for so long now. And then Diego Carlos on top of that as well from Sevilla.
That's the one for me. That's a genius signing. He's class, mate. He's class.
Yeah. I've not really seen too much of him. I'm being totally honest. So, from what I've heard, he's a commanding, quick, strong, patient, calm on the ball centre half. So he's
like Tyrone Mings, yeah, just like Tyrone Mings.
I don't think you could get 2 polar opposite centre backs if you tried. But yeah, just getting back to other transfer targets, I think we're looking at another centre midfielder. Yves Bissouma's the name that's been going around for some time now. Again, whether that one goes through or not. I've also heard Monaco may be in for him, and with that Tchouameni going to Real Madrid, he'll probably end up there, to be honest. So, but yeah, it's looking good for Villa. I'm enjoying this, and it's going to be interesting for us next season because we kind of ended the season playing 2 up top with Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins, and in that Man City game we played Coutinho and Buendia together for the first time in a while, and it looked to work. So I don't know whether we've adapted to playing 2 up top because that was just what we had with the players that were already there. That was the best system that kind of suited them players. So I don't know whether next season we're going to continue with the 2 up top, whether we're going to be playing that 4-3-3 kind of formation that Gerrard was at Rangers. But either way, I'm really excited for where this club's going, and I just hope that we can start pushing further up the table, start with a top half finish I'll be happy with for next season. Hopefully we'll start pushing for those European places as well. But yeah, I can't wait.
Well, let me talk to you about Gerrard. I'm allowed to get Grizz's opinion on this as well, because jury's still out for me, man. I can't lie. Jury's still out for me. I don't look at him and go, wow, yet. And maybe it's a bit harsh for me to expect to go wow because he's inexperienced, a little bit like our manager. And I think with Arteta, Lampard and Gerrard, I think they're all quite lucky to get those jobs like straight away. Like Lampard, Chelsea. I suppose you could put Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in that bracket as well. Man United, Gerrard, Villa, and Rangers before that, and then obviously Arteta or Arsenal. I think that's massive. Like none of them have really learnt their trade. You could perhaps say Lampard and Gerrard had learnt their trade more than Arteta because they were at Rangers and Derby beforehand. But the jury's still out for me. So I want to come to Grizz in a minute, but I want to get your thoughts on Steven Gerrard. And do you think he's the right guy for Villa?
I do. I really do. I think I've been speaking to a few Rangers fans recently, and they've said that the first 2 seasons when he came up, they won nothing, and then they went invincible in the league. So I think you just need to be patient with someone like Gerrard. Give him time to implement his way of playing onto the squad. Let him bring his players in, and then let's see where we are after that. If we're still around mid-table, not really pushing for Europe, then you've got to look elsewhere. But I think for me personally, we've just got to be patient at the minute. Just see how things go. The personnel that we've got at the club in terms of players aren't going to get us relegated. So it's about just sitting back and trying to relax and just see where this journey takes us.
Trust the process. Is that right, Billy? Is it trust the process? Yeah.
Very much so.
That's all we hear. No one actually knows what it means. No one actually knows what it means. It's just a word. It's just one of those. It's not even. It's just
Phrases,
a key.
yeah.
Not a buzzword. It's a buzz sentence. It's a phrase. Yeah, buzz phrase.
phrase.
Trust the process. No one knows what the end of the process looks like. They just know that it makes him sound happy when you say it. Oh man, Arsenal fans have been saying this to me for the last 3 years. Trust the process, Dan. No one can tell me what the hell happens at the end of the process. Lawless, before I come to Grizz about Gerrard, because I would be interested to hear his thoughts, what's your making of this, man? Because you know my thoughts on Arteta. You're very similar to me with Mikel Arteta. Lampard, I'm the same. I don't look at... As soon as Everton was risky getting Lampard for me, man. That was a madness thing. To get rid of Ancelotti and Rafa and replace him with Lampard, they're lucky to stay up, in my opinion. But Gerrard, jury's still out. Rangers, they let him go and get to a final with a Europa League, man. So, something he couldn't get him to. What's your thoughts, Lawless?
Oh, Villa. I mean... oh, man, I got to be real. Look, I mean, where it comes to Gerrard, I do think, what he has done is he's brought that respect. Like, unlike Arteta, and this is what Lampard also has, is he's a player that other players can look at and actually respect, where he can get the big names and say, look, here's what I've done in the game. This is who I am as a player. So you're going to listen to me. Whereas Arteta hasn't got that weight. He hasn't got that. Like, them big names are looking at him like, who are you? What have you done? Where he, Gerrard's got that cachet. But I'm not ready to, and this could be famous last words, but I'm not ready to worry about Aston Villa, because since Villa have come up, season after season, they've spent big money. Like, I think the first 2 seasons they came up, they spent like more than any other team. It was just crazy, just chucking money. And, it's been sort of relegation battles and mid-table. They haven't seemed to find it right. And when I look at the type of players that they're going for, it's like they're playing FIFA career mode, going for those obvious names like that you would go for. Like, okay, you've got a shitload of money. Who are you going to sign? You know what I mean? Yeah, let's go. I'm going to target Basuma and, let's try and get Suarez in, and we're going to sign Coutinho. And, like, it's good on paper, but it doesn't always work out. And sometimes, especially, look, and I talk about this as a club when we've tried to done it, when you've done similar things, when you try and get these big players to come down and take that sort of step down at your club and convince them of a project, if things don't click instantly and go the way they want, they get unsettled and things like that, and it affects the whole dressing room. And I just think they maybe need to start looking at other players that they can look at that maybe show some promise in other leagues and more of that maybe see Villa as a step up. But yeah, like every season, I'm in this group chat, every transfer window. Oh my God, Villa are doing bits. They're gonna challenge for top 4. They signed Leon Bailey. Oh my God, this is a madness. Villa are doing a madness. And every time I'm like, chill, relax. It's just wait to see how play. Why are you getting so excited over what Villa are doing? Because every time we see they do this and it doesn't really go anywhere. Like, Leon Bailey is a perfect example. I know he had injuries, but got so hyped off him and what he was going to do. And it didn't really pay off. So I can understand Billy enjoying it. Look, and being excited because your club's making some name signings. You're doing your business early. I would never say as a fan, like, don't enjoy that, because look, as a West Ham fan, I've had to sit and wait and watch us do it at the last minute. So as a fan, definitely enjoy it. And look, it could be great. But just for me, I'm not like sitting there going to hype up and go, oh, Villa next season. It could all work out and they could be a problem. But I think they need to start doing their, like Grizz was, it's funny, like, you know, Grizz was saying about Liverpool. We do our business smart and we look at players like, you know, don't always go for the big signings. We'll spend 5 million on this player and look how well he done in. Maybe start to mix in a bit of that. But yeah, I think when I'm hearing all these names that they're trying to be linked with, it's a bit eyebrow raising in terms of how that will pull out. So, and Newcastle could go and do the same. So interesting. But yeah, Gerrard, he's going to have to, that's the thing, because he's got all this money and he's spending big now, he's going to have to justify that. He's going to have to get results. And the pressure's on even more when you're spending like that, because you can talk about a process, but mate, you've just been given like, you know, hundreds of millions of pounds, deliver. So it's jury's out on Gerrard, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the jury is out, and it doesn't mean to say that he's not going to turn it round and start making things happen. I mean, Lawless, I didn't expect that rant about Villa. If I'm honest, it went so mad that your light ran out and your meat and money run out and your light, bro. You know what I mean? It's like Jesus.
I took all the energy. I took the energy off.
Unreal. Grizz, let's come to you lastly on this, man, because Gerrard's a legend of Liverpool. I want to know your thoughts and what your thoughts are as well on this Coutinho Suarez link up rumor, mate.
It would be a bad move. It would be a bad move for Villa. Suarez has stopped running that season and a half ago, man. Honestly, he's you might as well buy me, Billy. I'll do a better job. Now, jokes aside, I'm pretty much with Dan in terms of I think Steven Gerrard's this is his big summer. And I know that's a simplistic way of looking at it, but it's the only way to look at it. Because he's walked into Villa with not his team, right? And he's walked into Villa with, on the back of 6 losses in a row, a team full of players on the lowest confidence you can have, like when you're fucking six losses in a row. And he's raised them to a level, but then they've dipped again. So he's given them that impact that a player or a coach or a man like Steven Gerrard brings you. So he's got that aura about him. He's given him that boost. And then after that, he needs quality. And he hasn't had that quality because they haven't got that many quality players. They've got 2 or 3. And so therefore, obviously the levels have dropped. And in the end, they probably finished, I don't know if Billy agrees, but they finished where they deserve to finish. Because normally that's what happens in the league. You end up where you are. I think this summer, we obviously know he's going to get backed. It's so crucial that he signs right and he signs the right player that he needs. Now, I'm going to put it out there. I'm very underwhelmed with their signing so far. Boubacar Kamara, even Liverpool fans were saying, oh, we need Boubacar Kamara. He's linked with Man United. I'm not a massive fan, Billy. I think he's a good player. I genuinely don't think he's better than McGinn, for example. McGinn's an absolute...
I think I'm better than McGinn.
Wow, you don't rate McGinn?
I like McGinn. I don't mind McGinn.
McGinn's a footballer, man.
I rate him, but he's way too inconsistent. So when he's on it, he's one of the best players on the pitch, and then he'll go missing for 3 or 4 games, and then he'll play at 70, 80%. And then you're like, oh, McGinn's coming back, and then he goes missing for another 2 or 3 games, and then it's
fair
a
enough.
constant cycle of inconsistency.
Fair enough. You watch him more than me, so. But I thought McGinn, yeah. I mean, Boubacar Kamara, and you've bought another one, haven't you? You've bought someone else. I can't
Diego
remember
Carlos, centre back.
Diego Carlos is an absolute car crash of a centre back.
Do you think?
Yeah, he's an absolute car crash of a centre back.
Wow, I didn't mind him, man. From what I've seen of him.
Yeah. We're going to have this conversation, I promise you guys, in 9 months. Diego Carlos is an absolute headbanger of a centre back. He's one of those ones where you think, whoa, yeah, passion, we got him. But he's not very clever in terms of When you're having to defend the way he defends, which is all about last minute physical challenges. Put it this way: yellow card, whatever the odds are, guaranteed yellow card every game. But look, he's got to be better than Tyrone Mings, right? like once I've said all that about Diego Carlos, I'll still fucking take him over Tyrone Mings. But yeah, I think Villa got a good set of players there, man. They just need about 2 to 3 players that will improve their squad, and then that'll be the time to judge Steven Gerrard. I think it's a bit harsh to judge him on what he's done last season. It is what it is. Dips as Billy says, inconsistency. Yeah, you're gonna get that. Villa weren't flying when he came or before. Any recent times. So it's unfair for them to start expecting to be flying straight away. But I think with the right recruitment, and so far the names haven't inspired me, but there's still 2 months to go, or whatever there is, 6 to 8 weeks of the window go. If he gets another 2 to 3 solid signings, I think he could finish. I don't know. You could challenge for the top 8. I'd say that's probably your target. Try to get in that top 8. I think that would be realistic. Yeah.
Just lastly, Grizz, do you like? I know you probably like the idea, but would you think it's wise, Gerrard, the new Liverpool manager after Klopp's future?
Such a massive split in the fan base, man. It's one of those ones, isn't it? How do you say no to Steven Gerrard? But
have you not learnt from like the Lampard Arteta situation? Could you take something from that Solskjaer stuff?
Yes, but the big difference, Dan, Liverpool won't be his first job.
Yeah,
He'll have gone to Rangers. He'll have gone to Villa. So he's gone up that cycle. So he's gone and smashed it at Rangers. Then if he brings Villa, and this will be key, if he brings Villa, let's say, to a final of sorts and top 8 finish, without sounding, condescending, that would be a good season, right, for Villa.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So then that will be credit in the bank for him. Then you can say, all right, maybe now he's ready for the next level. Right now, Dan, let's say, God forbid anything happened to Klopp or whatever, he wanted to leave or whatever happened. Nah, I wouldn't want Steven Gerrard.
I don't think you should ever get Steven Gerrard, regardless, because I just think that getting a legend at the club, if it does go wrong, and filling Klopp's shoes is going to be huge. He's going to have to be as good, if not better, than Klopp. And if he falls short, and it could just tarnish the legacy at the club, and seeing the way, like some of these Chelsea fans call him Fat Frank and stuff like that after everything he's done. It's just like,
but to be honest with you, we're more classy than that. We will never tarnish Steven Gerrard's legacy. But I hear what you're saying. He wouldn't want to. The thing is, though, he's such a ballsy kind of player he was, and man he is. He'd want to take that role on, but sometimes when you do that, it's not always the wisest thing. Like you can put your emotion and passion into it and say, let's see what I can do with it. But I'd like to think that he's got to show himself more to become, especially after Klopp. I totally agree. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to be after Klopp.
That was my thing when he came to Villa. There was a lot of Villa fans saying, "Oh, he's only coming here, and then 2 or 3 years he'll be off to Liverpool when Klopp's contract runs out, etc." He will only go to Liverpool if he proves himself at Villa. So as long as he can take us to
win-win,
exactly. So if he can take us to that tier where Liverpool are then looking at him for their next manager, then I'm happy as a Villa fan to say that. Look, you've done an amazing job with us. Thank you for what you've done. Go to your boyhood club where you've got this incredible legacy, and we can then attract the likes of the upper echelon managers in the world. So that's my view on it. Like Grizz said, it's a win-win in that situation.
Yeah, no, fair play, man. Fair play. Lawless, Declan Rice, Jared Bowen, 2 best players at West Ham, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Both linked with moves away. To be fair, they have, well, I don't know about Bowen, but Rice has been, linked for a long time. Do you think they're both going to stay? And do you think that you can attract the right players in this summer to keep them both happy at West Ham?
Yeah, to both of those. I think they'll definitely stay. They're going to be linked, of course, but I can't see anyone paying Rice's what we'll ask for Rice. There's been no valuations put on Bowen, but the more he does, and now he's been called up, he's playing for England. That price tag goes up. So that remains to be seen. Liverpool were the only team that were really seriously linked with Bowen. So I haven't heard anything recently to know if they're going to try and come back in. And like we said, they're slapping down 85 mil now, on Nunez. So are they then going to go and slap down?
We still want Bowen. I can tell you that for a fact.
How much is he going to be, Bowen?
Yeah, I was going to say, how much would you think he would be, Dan?
I would say the minimum they would probably be is like 60 to probably 60 to, because with the English tax, he's still he's like 25 years old. He's obviously an attacking player, so he's got that premium, and now the England international, so that rises up between like 60 and 80 mil. You start to look at. I only say that because I think obviously the last season, if he had like more like another season under his belt like last season, that price tag goes up. But that was his first real season in the Prem of doing big numbers. He did good the season before, but that real consistency in improving his finishing. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Liverpool will probably monitor it. It's a case of, will they make a formal approach? Will they make a serious bid? And then what will we take? But yeah, I could see, I mean, he's an important part of the team, but I could see like 70 to 80, they'd say, potentially say yes. But we don't want to sell him. Obviously, we want to keep our best players and then strengthen onto that. And like you said, we have to build around them to say, this is a project. We are serious. And it's just one of those, like we're going to have to spend serious money for me with the players we need. Our squad was too thin. That's ultimately what cost us Europa League, ultimately what cost us, getting back into the Europa League or maybe competing a bit longer for Champions League. Lingard, we're still chasing this Lingard thing. I'm hearing we're going to be selling Ben Rama at a cut price to get Lingard in, which is insane with what Ben Rama done. Like, that is insane to me. Ben Rama.
That makes no sense.
We need to strengthen. We need to build onto the squad, and selling Ben Rama, I think, would be the wrong move, but it seems Moyes don't fancy him. But he got like 11 goals, 6 assists, even though he had AFCON. Come and break up.
He's decent, bro. He's decent for you. I would keep him. You got to add to players. You can't just replace like for like. You've got to go Ben Rama and Fornals. We've got to keep those and keep Bowen. And we've got to add the Lingards and the other players around it. And this striker situation has to happen for West Ham now, man. Like, it's just crazy to be keeping Antonio as your main striker, mate. I like Antonio.
Doing.
That's poor move. That's poor move.
Apparently, he doesn't want someone to come in and take over Antonio's spot. He wants someone to come in as a backup for Antonio.
But who are you going to get that's going to make you any better, though, Lawless, if you do that? Like, what is?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Antonio's 32 years old. So what happens if he gets injured? What happens, if he loses his legs, which he's starting to do, his pace is running down. Then you're left with someone who's not even as good as that player that, you've got him as a backup to. So that's a big worry. I think Lingard will add a lot, to our team. He really fits in. He gives us a bit more directness and pace. So I'd like it, but not 180 grand a week. That is insane. That's absolutely just mad numbers.
What's he done at Man United to deserve 180k a week contract?
He was on 100k there. And I was saying to this, I was having this debate with some other fans, and they're like, "Oh, but it's a free transfer. It's a free transfer." It just doesn't matter. Just because it's free, don't mean you double their wages. Like Grizz pointed out earlier, wage structure. And now all of a sudden, if we come and say to Lingard, "Oh, you don't matter because you're free, we're going to pay you way more than any other player. We're going to pay you way more than Declan Rice. We're going to pay you more than Bowen, more than Antonio, more than Zuma. We're going to pay you way more, even though you had a really good half a season, but didn't do much for Man United recently." Then it just upsets the dressing room. I'd happy to give a signing. Yeah, have a signing on bonus. Have some bonuses like what Grizz was saying about Salah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you score X amount of goals, you get a bonus. Have something like that, but not double your wages. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we definitely need a left back. It looks like we're getting this centre back. We drag transfers out, man. This Aguerd, he's supposed to be one of the best centre backs in League One recently for Rennes. our club, man, they love to wind the fans up, posting like this. They post this hand, like doing a graffiti, and it was the hand, and everyone's like comparing it. Oh, is it Areola's skin tone or is it Agued's skin tone? Oh, maybe it's Lingard.
Fans
like
are unreal, bro.
Skin matching, right? So, but
We're
they
the
posted,
worst. Arsenal were the worst.
The eye the eye emojis where they're like, them eye emojis. They posted that, so everyone's like, oh, new signings announced. All it was a teaser for a kit. And some people were trying to warn us, but
do you know what I see today, Lawless? Do you know what I see today? I see your new kit being launched, and all the West Ham fans crying because Declan Rice isn't on the front of the cover.
Oh, yeah.
They are honestly crying. They're absolutely crying about it. He's going, he's leaving, he's leaving.
I am surprised that Dan is so confident of keeping both of them, because
this season,
if you've got, I don't know what the state of your ownership is like, if they're ready to invest money, because West Ham is a squad, and I swear to God, I'm not doing tit for tat. I swear to God. But West Ham is a squad that definitely needs freshening up. Like, they've had such a long campaign last season in Europe as well, and you could tell they were out on their feet by the end of the season. Centre backs, not the youngest centre backs, right? Even in your midfield, Noble, all right, he didn't play much, but Souček and Rice playing every single game, whether it's a cup game, whether it's a fucking friendly, everything. It's Antonio not really consistent in terms of goals and injuries. He misses the odd game very, very, very often. He misses the game, and if you ain't got Antonio, you really don't see where West Ham are going to score from, unless it's a set piece. Like, he brings that spark energy. So West Ham is one of those clubs where needs investment. Now, I don't know if your boys are going to give you money, because one way of raising that money would be, bang, sell one of your big boys and we go again. But you might think that you're on a level where you can't sell them, but you need to invest. Now, let's say you bring in this centre-back and he is good. He's very good. So that's a good signing to start off with, right? Surely you can see 2-3 other positions that you need to double up in squad depth.
Yeah.
And you're looking at another 100 million, 120 million. Are you going to do that without selling anyone?
Well, this is the question mark. We're trying to see what this Daniel Kretinsky, who's now the second, he's taken over David Gold as the second highest shareholder behind Sullivan. So he came in towards the end of last year. Everyone's waiting to see, is he going to throw the money down? We're waiting. So
all these big boys, they talk, man. They talk. Watch. They only come into these clubs to rinse it. Trust me.
This is what we have to find out. This summer is what we're looking to see. Whether it's Kretinsky, whether it's Sullivan, we're hearing all these, you hear these 150 mil rumors, and that's just sort of season ticket renewals. This summer is critical. I don't want to hear any excuses. Get the players in. We need to bring that, like you alluded to, is the average age of this squad needs to come down. It's like the opposite of Arsenal. We need to bring the average age of the squad down, because you've got a lot of players that are either in their 30s, your Creswells, your Dawsons, your Antonios.
That's what I'm saying.
And players in their late 30s. And then, like you said, back up to Souček. Maybe we need to look at maybe improving on Souček or competition for Souček. We had Krau. I saw this stat today. We got Krau, right? Alex Krau, who was the backup for Souček. He attempted 2 forward passes and didn't complete either of them. Both of them were unsuccessful in the Premier League. So that was Krau's contribution to West Ham this summer. We need someone who can improve on Souček, who Souček wants more money. I don't think he's justified it this season, but he wants more money. So we need to start looking at that position. But yeah,
take Ox from us. Would you take Ox from us?
No, do you know we've been linked with him.
You've made an inquiry for Ox.
Yeah, we have. But one, his injury record is
he's
worrying.
good. He's good. He hasn't been injured
for a long time.
But he
hasn't played. That's why.
He's not missed any game through injury. Mad.
What's his wages? Talk to me.
He's cheap as well. We just want to get rid, man. We want this Darwin Nunez money. He's another one, 10-15 million. Take him, man.
I'm kind of interested in Origi, is he available for free? Or
Origi's gone to Milan. Yeah, he's going to AC Milan.
Is it? Yeah.
That would be it. See, that would have been a smart move. That's a smart move. Origi can do a job for most Premier League teams, man. He's a proper goal scorer, man. Everyone's seen it, but AC Milan snapped him up. But Oxlade, like, I know you didn't get Lingard over the line. Like, Oxlade would be far cheaper in terms of wages. Like, those ridiculous wages, Lingard, man.
Yeah.
Ox is probably on about 120, 100,
Yeah,
120.
so someone like that, like if he really and truly, like I said, if he can pass the medical and he can be fit, I would definitely consider a player like Chamberlain, because I think he was unlucky. Like the time he got injured, he was a key part of Liverpool's team for sure. I'd be interested in him. I think Lingard, I think he's going to realise that he's going to have to drop his wages, because I don't think even Newcastle or Aston Villa are going to be. I know Aston Villa were like trying to offer Tarkowski crazy wages and trying to offer these players, but I don't even think them, when they look at it and go, we're going to pay you 180 grand a week when you was on 100, really? Like, and I apparently we're still negotiating with them, which is why they're talking about Benrahma going, but we can't put Benrahma in the middle. What we got, Lanzini and Fornals, who aren't creative like Benrahma's creative. Put Lingard on the left, put Benrahma in the middle. Yeah, maybe we'll have Chamberlain in there with Rice, and whatever striker we've got, but yeah, left back. I can't see Creswell starting next season. I still can't look at him. People tell me get over it. I can't get over what Creswell did.
Lawless, would you take Mitrovic and Emmanuel Dennis?
Dennis, I like. I really like Mitrovic. No, I think he's one of them. Like he gets relegated, balls out in the Championship, gets promoted, and then it's like very tepid. Maybe with better players around him, he might do better. But Emmanuel Dennis, I like for sure. I would definitely take him. And I think he could challenge well. And apparently the money, what they want from him isn't too crazy. I think it's like 20 mil. I'd take that. And it's for 20 mil. And he's versatile. It's going to be crazy, but just got to spend. We have to spend. And then that is what is going to convince Rice these are serious. Because what's the point? If we're just going to sit here and just like, oh, we're going to add one or two, still not sign a striker, still not sign a left back, we're going to go in. He's going to be like, well, what's the point of me even? Rice is going
to want to leave at some point, man. I know you lot love him, and of course, everyone like associated with West Ham going to adore him like mad. But Rice is getting to that level now where he don't want to be talked about like Harry Kane. Like, what a player, but where's your trophies now? Do you know what I mean? He's one of those players. Do you know what he reminds me of? Do you remember when Roy Keane at Forest? We knew he's about to just burst on the scene now and go to a big club, a mega club now, with no disrespect to West Ham, right? But if you don't get into the top four, which can you really see yourselves getting into the top four? Not really. If you don't get into the top four, he's going to want to have some sort of gentleman's agreement with Moyes, like, look, let me talk to these clubs. Because at the moment, you're right, no one's going to fork out that kind of 120 million. No one's going to fork that out. Well, you never know, actually. Chelsea might go mad. United, Chelsea might. They're the only ones. Even City could theoretically go mad and give you 120 because they need a DM. Well, Fernandinho. Can you imagine that? That would be nasty. But you know what I mean? But that's why I'm saying Bowen, because I know because he's got the same agency as Robertson and Trent. And I know someone who works in that agency, and Bowen, we're hot on Bowen. We're hot, especially with the Mo Salah scenario situation. We see Bowen as our near enough number one target.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Watch that space.
That is going to be. It'd be so deep. Can you see that like happening this summer though?
Touch and go back this summer. No, I can't see it unless. Yeah, I can't see it this summer unless we don't put, because we've gone for Darwin Nunez now as our thing, as our strike, as our attacker.
No deal with Gnabry, Grizz either.
Yeah, it was the names I've heard on the list were Danjuma, Gnabry, and Bowen. They're the three wide stroke attackers that we wanted, and Bowen tops the list.
But it's interesting because if you don't come for him this summer, you're right. If you say you weren't to sign this summer, and he has another season like this season, the price is going to go mad because then we can say, look what he's. And I expect him to do even better, to go further, to score more goals and improve. Like that is an area he's.
But you see where we're going with his signing though, because he's at that age. and profile what Sadio and Salah were when we bought them. You see that?
Yeah.
And we love targeting that mid-range player was about to explode. We would probably offer about 50 million, 50 million. You'd want 60 million. Do you know what I mean? That's one of those ones where you'd have the decision to make. Do you reinvest that or stick with him?
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one, that one, man. I'll tell
If
you.
you would
I
have
didn't
asked
know
me
much
last
about
summer,
that.
I would have took it. Like last summer, I would have took that for Bowen.
I know.
Now it's
It's a
just
hot.
like
He's flying. He's flying now.
He has been class, man. He has been class. Last couple of comments before we do comment to wrap up. Lucas says, Dan, would you go for Luis Enrique after the World Cup? Bro, the way I'm feeling at the moment, I'd go for Enrique Iglesias over Mikel Arteta, bro. Trust me.
be your hero.
Yeah, you know. Grizz, would you take Saka at Liverpool? Oh, come on.
I don't know if you watched Big Six yesterday. They looked at me and I wanted to slap them all through the screen, right? Because I suggested, right, Saka, because the debate was, I can't fucking remember now, but it was something, is Saka worth 60, 70 million? Now, we've just spoken about Bowen being 60, 70 million. And apart from me and Turkish, the others didn't think he was worth 60, 70 million. Saka. I could not believe what I was hearing and watching and listening. Yeah. I said, what planet are you lot living on? In this day and age, in this world, you don't think Saka's worth 60, 70 million? And they were like, no. And then Matisse came round, because when I start schooling them, right, they learn, innit? So Matisse said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. But the others were like, nah, 60, 70 million. We need to see more from him. I was like, okay, I'm staying out of this conversation. So, but for me personally, I would love Saka.
He does, but still though, same way, like he kind of needs to show, because he did fade out big time last season towards the end of the second half of the season. You look at from 2022, the goals and assists dried up quick time. So
yeah, but we're talking. Yeah, but Dan, we're talking about a 20-year-old.
True, but a lot of
he's played. He can play at so many positions. He's shown at England level what he can do as well. He's playing in a shit Arsenal team with shit coaching, with shit players around him, and he's still the shining light. In this day and age, if we don't think Saka's worth 60 million, then I think some of the prices being quoted for random players, like Darwin Nunez, for example.
Wasn't Ndombele 65 million?
Ndombele, even
Like, come
Grealish.
on,
Grealish is a class player, but 100 million Grealish has just gone for another young English player.
Who would you rather have? You rather have Saka or Grealish? You take Saka because the ceiling is massively higher.
But I think
like
to say it's youth have a tendency to burn quickly. Do you know what I mean? They burn brightly but quickly at that time, where they look amazing. You know, when they're young, they burst onto the scene, everyone's excited, and then it's almost like too much too soon. And then once they get like the 23s, 24s, they're talking about, this player has not quite lived up to it, or you know what I mean? Like, is he gonna?
I think Saka. I think he will. I think Saka's. I don't know about Smith Rowe and Martinelli. I think they're both got ceilings that are high as well. Saka for me is the one.
What's the one that Klopp loved? Is it Saka or Martinelli? There was
Martinelli. We love both.
He loves
because
Saka,
both.
Yeah.
Before Saka signed that deal, we were so close to getting him on a tribunal, just like we tried with Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho. We were so close, lads, to getting Saka. But his love for the club, he just signed it. Otherwise, he was destined for Liverpool.
He might come to regret that, but maybe you could come back for him and go, listen.
He's one of those that, But the thing is, he's one of those ones that's going to have a decision to make, don't you think, Dan? Like
100%.
Soon.
100%. Bruv, we've seen this 3 times. Like I've said this before. We did this youth project before, it didn't work because Fabregas said no, enough. I can't wait 5 years. I want it now. I'm not getting to a stage where I'm going to be at my peak still at Arsenal trying to get into the Champions League. So he went to Barcelona. Van Persie went to Man United. We did it again. Sanchez went to Man United. We did it again. Ramsey went to Juventus in the end. We've lost all of these young players. We can't use young players again, man. We can't have a youth project and then lose the youth. So in 3 years' time, we're still struggling to get Champions League football. And Saka says, I'm going to go Newcastle because they're winning everything now. Smith Rowe says, yeah, I fancy Chelsea or City or Newcastle as well. And Liverpool are sniffing around Martinelli. And he goes, do you know what? Yeah, fair play. I'm 25 now and I haven't won nothing. So we can't have this youth project again under the same ownership that's already failed 2 youth projects. So why are we now having another youth project? I don't want to see these kids we're linked with this summer. I don't want to see. It's great that Aaron Hickey might be the next Kieran Tierney. It's fantastic that Marquinhos might be another Martinelli. But why are we not linked with the players that are going to come in and allow the inexperienced lads to have some experience? And more Thomas Partey type players we need. No more of these young players. Listen, Jesus might not take us to the next level. He might not be prolific in front of goal. But if you add Jesus and Tammy Abraham, and you add the likes of Tielemans and maybe a Ruben Neves or Bissouma, those types of players that are all Premier League proven, that aren't 21, that have actually got some experience, albeit at the right sort of age. They're not 21, but they're not 31. They're the right cut age of 20, in my opinion, to take us forward with the experience. I don't want a load of young kids again. And Arteta and Edu want this youth project to go bang. Well, youth projects don't go bang in 2 seasons. They go bang in a few. Name me a young team, apart from the class of 92, that's actually gone on to achieve something massive. I can't think of one, in my opinion, that has been young, hungry. All of them are 23 years old and they're winning everything, killing it by the time they're 28. I can't think of any. I don't think of any. So where has this come from?
I don't see how you expect them to compete with Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, potentially. Man United are still up in the air for me. I don't know where they're going to be. But then, yeah, if Newcastle do get it right, I don't see how you expect this young squad and add more youngsters to compete with all of these teams that have got world-class players, in them. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think it's long.
Yeah, man, it ain't looking good, man. I'm going to bring in a question for Billy in a minute, but Grizz, I want your last thoughts on the Arsenal situation this summer and Mikel Arteta and where you stand, because I know you get the name Grizz Teta because you like some of the things he's done at Arsenal, but what does he have to get this season for him to be like, do you know what, fair play? His job can't be questioned because he's had a good season at Arsenal. Where do you
like
see
in
that?
terms of the summer, or do you mean like in like his season's objectives?
Season objectives, mate. Because the summer we all know he's going to spend loads. He's going to spend loads apparently in the summer again.
Season's objectives again is to possibly win a cup, get into a final, and make sure you're in and around that top 4. You've got to get into that top 4. Your objective again. I'll harp back on it. I don't want to break down the season to. At this stage, we were happy with 9th. At this stage, we were happy with 6th. At this stage, we were happy with 5th. But we should have got that. No. Overall, your objective was, according to every fan and pundit, if you finish in the top 6, it would have been a result because you've been so crap the season before and everything, right? So you finished 5th. Not a great season, not a disastrous season. A good season. Now he's got to make sure minimum 5th and pushing on the 4th 100%. And if he doesn't, he'll probably be out of a job. That's the way it is.
I think he needs to get Champions League or he's gone. He got to get Champions League.
I don't see you getting Champions League above the likes of Chelsea, Man United. No, but even whoever comes in, let's say you're getting Luis Enrique. I genuinely don't see you lot getting Champions League just because you've got a different coach among these other teams that are going to fling another.
You don't think if Conte comes to Arsenal, he would have got us in the top 4?
Not that squad. Not that squad. Now he's got.
But you could get it with Tottenham.
But Spurs have got better. I think Spurs, your squad, man.
But they've got Kane and Son, haven't they?
Points off.
Kane and Son, yeah, I'll give you that. But other than that, Romero, that's it. I'd have most of Arsenal players over Tottenham's, other than them two.
No. But the thing was, okay, you've got a point about Conte, but he came clutch in January. Like Billy says, Kane, Son, and you added Romero and Kulusevski.
And Bentancur. And Bentancur.
And so that took
what did we do?
That took him to clear. Otherwise, you was better.
Mikel said we got rid of players. We got rid of players. More players. So I think your
recruitment has got to be spot on. If it's not, I don't see you lot challenging for top 4. The danger team for me that's possibly going to drop out this season, and I love winding up the Chelsea fans, is Chelsea. I think watch this space with Chelsea. I genuinely think they're going to have a little bit of a leveler. They're going to realize what it is like to have no sugar daddy above your head flinging millions every time you got an issue. And
well, apparently this guy is a sugar daddy, though. Apparently he's going to fling millions.
But he can't. He can't. He has to be wise, Dan. He has to be clever. Everyone's got their eyes on the finances of Chelsea, especially the way Roman dealt with certain things. So they can't just go willy-nilly. They have to be smart, even if he wants to fling it. So I think it's a season of humbling. for them?
I think it's up in the air. I do. I think, listen, Liverpool and City, we know they're going to fight it out, and I don't think anyone's catching them. I've
No.
actually tipped Tottenham to get third because I think Conte will be backed, and I think that what he does with
100%.
absolutely no resources, I think they're going to get third. And then I think it will
100%.
be fought out between Chelsea, United, and Arsenal and West Ham for that kind of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th kind of place again. I don't see any shocks. Maybe depending on who Leicester sell, could be interesting because with Leicester with a fully fit squad, they had about 9-10 injuries, no joke, this season, and everyone was saying Brendan Rodgers should be sacked, which I thought was ridiculously harsh when they had 8-9 players out. But if they don't sell the likes of Tielemans, who's linked heavily with us, and I've been told is pretty much a done deal, we'll see what happens with that one.
Can I quickly
do
say,
believe-
Dan, on
bro.
the Arsenal expectations? What you was asking Grizz about? Obviously Arteta has to get minimum 5th. I agree with you that he has to get 4th, and I think looking at how good Man City are too good and Liverpool are too good, so you can't finish above them. Spurs are going to be expected to finish above you. Chelsea are going to expect to finish above you. Man United might, just because other teams are good and expected to do well or have good summers, doesn't mean then Arsenal should have to readjust their objectives. As a club...
Are you expected to finish above them?
No, we're not finished.
Why not?
No, but because the difference is... Wait, finish above who? Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Well, we're not expected to, but I'm
Why not? Tell me why not? On the basis of what?
On the basis of, you look, they finished above us last season. We was competing thereabouts. We finished above them the pre-season before.
But we can't say they're underachieving if you're saying they've finished above you and they've underachieved when we're not rating them. I genuinely think you are as good as them. You should be competing with them. If you're saying they should be breaking into the top 4, we know Man City and Liverpool are clear. That leaves Chelsea, Spurs, and United as the next 3. Are they better than Chelsea, Spurs, and United? Why should they be expected to? I don't get this mentality.
It's their objectives as a club, like what you want.
They washed. Those objectives were 10, 15 years ago. They're washed now.
No, their objectives 10, 15 years ago.
They have to do slowly improve.
Yeah,
that's reality of life.
I think for them, like if you're Arsenal, right, and I know what you're saying, they're not that club anymore. They're not a staple of the. I agree with you. They're not a staple of the Champions League, but they want to be. And the next step, because they've been in Europa League, they've flirted around there for long enough now. Their next step has to be get 4th.
I agree, but I don't think they expected. That's my only thing. I agree. They have to aspire to be in the top 4.
We don't. I don't think they
expected.
Yeah, I don't think we expected, but I think that regardless, Arteta's target and objective should be get 4th. And if he's not doing that, because if
I agree. I agree. I've said it. If he doesn't get top 4, I agree. Or at least fucking challenging or taking it right to the wire and getting a cup somewhere along the line. I agree with that. He's not the right man.
Look at the top 4 this season. Yeah, who are the managers? Look who come 5th, and look at our manager. I don't see why people don't understand this. Like Frank Lampard had 9th place tied with Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel come and took it over. 4th Champions League winners. Right, same team. No transfer window. Conte under Tottenham. Under Nuno. Couldn't get looking like they're going to finish 10th, 11th, 12th. Had Kane and Son. Everyone says it's Kane and Son. That's the reason they're top 4. They got Kane and Son. Well, Kane and Son didn't turn up under Nuno. Conte comes in, 4th place. If there was longer, probably would have got 3rd place off of Chelsea because they collapsed at the last minute, right? Elite manager. Thomas Tuchel, elite manager. Klopp, Pep, elite manager. Now Manchester United have just signed someone who I wouldn't class elite, but is definitely more experienced than the guy that we've got. David Moyes, in my opinion, is a better manager than Mikel Arteta. I go through the league and I would rather have most managers than ours because they've got the experience. Now, I don't mind Mikel Arteta being a great manager down at Wigan or Bolton or learning his trade, but at least go and do that first. People would say, would you have Graham Potter ahead of Mikel Arteta? Yes, I would. Why? Because he learned his trade at Östersunds, did a great job at Swansea, and is killing it at Brighton, getting Danny Welbeck, who we sold 4 years ago, scoring goals. So when I look at the players, the managers that we could have right now, I would take a lot of them. People say Simeone won't come, but I would take him. Mancini won't come, but I would take him. People told me Conte wouldn't come to Arsenal. He ended up at Spurs, so he would have come to Arsenal. But we don't have the ownership, the ambition for that, because all of their American franchises are Arteta's. and they all make just money. None of them win stuff. The Rams is the one thing that they've got that they can be exceptional about. And look at the money they spent on that. 5 billion just on a new stadium. They're not interested in Arsenal. So
Gave
for
the
me,
man a new
this season,
contract before it was confirmed, didn't it? Before top four was
well,
tied
we
up.
got
and they
the
was
target was
like,
done, bruv. The target was done for them. Top 6 was the target. He achieved it, so he gets a 3-year deal. That's the lack of ambition. That's the acceptance of mediocrity. And you have Arsenal fans out there that love it and think this is brilliant news. We've got a new guy who's a young manager who's been given a 3 new-year contract because he's got into the Europa League. Come on, man. I moved to the Emirates to compete with the best, not to be in the Europa
Bayern
League.
Munich was said, wasn't it? You used to compete with Bayern
bro,
Munich and
we
Barcelona.
can't even compete with Brighton and Burnley at home, mate. That's where it is. They got their B's mixed up. I'll tell you this now. It ain't Barcelona and Bayern Munich. It's Burnley and Brighton from where I'm standing, man. I'll tell you that now. Right, where's this guy?
Sorry to get you started, Dan, right at the end. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to. That's my job done.
Yeah, you know. You stirred that pot. Let's wrap this one up with this last one for you, Bill. It says, Billy, do you see scenario where Villa fans will turn on Gerrard if you lost a few in a row, bad performances or no improvement, etc.? Is that your fear, mate?
It will happen. It always happens, no matter what manager you've got in. It's always going to happen. But the way I look at it is, we've just got to be patient with him. He's a new manager to the league. I believe in him. I believe in the club. I believe in what the players that we're bringing in, despite Grizz's lack of belief. Yeah. Anyway,
how patient, Bill? Do you give him would you give him a season to say if he finishes 12th this season? Would you look at it and go, okay, just time, patience, give him one more season? How much patience do you have for him?
Yeah, I do. I think we've got to give him this season at least. Give him this transfer window, the winter transfer window, and then assess where we are. If we finish 12th next season, I think it will be a little bit underwhelming, but I still think you give him that. I still think you give him that next summer window, and if halfway through that next season, we're still not there where we want to be with his players, with his team, then you do have to reassess and maybe get rid. But I think you can't be impatient anymore with players. You're seeing the trouble that Watford get in, chopping and changing managers every 2 seconds. So I'd just like us to stay patient, see where it takes us. We've got time on our side. There's no need to rush these things just yet. So yeah, as long as the backing stays there with the owners that we've got, which I believe it will do. Yeah, I can only see it being a good thing, really.
Do you not worry about the effect of you're backing him, you're giving him all his players, like you said, spending big money, big wages. If it don't work out and you have to sack him, all of a sudden now a new manager has got all of these expensive players that might not fit in with his philosophy now, and they've potentially now.
I love this with Lawless, man. Lawless has got no time for Villa at all. It's hilarious. I've never heard this from him before.
I'm just saying, is that, you know what I mean?
It's a good point. It is a good point you make. It's something to worry about, but it's not something I'm worried about just yet.
Yeah.
Fair play, man. Listen, boys, we've got to wrap it up because I've got to go, and so has Grizz. Before we do go, guys, thank you all so much. One, for coming on. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your interaction in the chat and for your comments. Please do me a favor, smash a like on this video, smash a subscribe on this video, and make sure that you go over and support the guys. Go over to Grizz Khan on YouTube, Grizz Khan TV. He's got loads of content daily, having you bro in relation to Liverpool and transfer windows and God knows what. So please make sure you do that, viewers. Also go over to West Ham Fan TV and at The Lawless at Twitter and Instagram, and AV Billy over at Twitter as well, and Total Screamers podcast and all of Billy's podcast content over there as well. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Much appreciated. We'll catch you next time. And until then, up the Arsenal. Take care, guys.